Merry Christmas Eve. We're so glad you're here. Look around. There are just so many of us. It's so wonderful. We're going to invite you to stand. We're going to sing 3 Christmas carols, one after the other. Hark the herald angels sing, the first Noel, and angels we have heard on high. Stand up, angels.
Joy All of you tonight. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Or as we say in Hawaii, Mele Kiliki Maka. It is so good to have you here. I'm Reverend Tim Lytle, Senior Minister, and my wife and I moved here about 9 months ago from Honolulu, and it's a joy to be with you all. We wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Now, my understanding is that the ushers have some gifts for our new people. Is that right, Reverend Medora? That's right. Okay, so our ushers are going to come with some gifts that they are bearing, and I believe also we're going to have a little gift for each of those who brought a friend. Now, that could be this entire group. You know what I mean? So, if our ushers, you're going to check? Okay. All right, thank you. So, if this is your first time here, or first time since I came here, and you're going to need help, okay, would you please raise your hand? All right, there's a bunch. There's a bunch. Let's get to them. And they're up in the balcony also. Yeah. And if you, let's first give these out to our guests who are here or new people. And these are thermal mugs. We're happy to give these to you. And Connect, I'm going to ask a favor of you. You may not be able to help me with this. We don't have that text slide, do we? There you go. On the way. All right. We have some hands up over here. Right over here to the left. Do you see them down there, Carl? My left. Your right. Sorry. Okay. And there's some more hands up that are up in the balcony, I see. Are we cleaned out? Is that all of them? Are there more in the office? I knew that we would have a lot. We got the slide? Okay. So, those of you who didn't get your cup yet that are new, if you would join us down in the office afterwards so that you can get your free cup and some information about this church. And, oh, there's a slide. And what the number is, 415-991-7111. If you're new here, you can go to that number and text the word welcome. If you've been here a while, you could go to that same number and text the word loop. You'll get a little card just to enter a little basic information. That way, if you wish to stay in contact with me, with us, by way of text and email, we can do that. But we want you to be welcome here. And any of you who brought a friend, anyone here brought a friend, raise your hand. Okay, here we go. So Arthur's on his way. Are you the only one, Arthur? Yes. Arthur, give me a whole bunch. Here we go. All right. Yeah, what is it? All right, here you go. Catch them while they're hot. Here, Tim. There you go. Anyone else? All right. I don't want to hit anyone in the eye. Sure. There you go. All right. Anybody else? Can you catch? Can you catch? All right. Anybody else? Here you go. All right. That guy got it. I always wanted to be one of those people out in the, throwing the peanuts to people. There you go. Anybody else? Right here. All right, you're handing them out. Good. Anybody else? Up in the balcony. Can you catch, young man? All right, here you go. Whoops. It doesn't fly very far. Those don't fly. They'll take them up to you. Sorry. All right. It's good to have you all here. Welcome. We bless you, and we wish you a very Merry Christmas.
This next song that the choir is going to sing, and I'm going to just bring your energy down for it. They sang on Sunday, and we just loved it. It's called Christmas Lullaby. And sometimes they're singing something different than the other choir members, but that's a part of the song, and it's quite incredible. 'Twas a night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang to my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew at that moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. When eagles through the mild horror, oh, forgot it. When what leaves before the wild hurricanes fly, when they reach to the obstacle mount to the sky. So up to the housetop his coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed in all fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his sack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. A stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke, it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a round little belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings and turned with a jerk. And laying a finger aside of his nose and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night."
Wow. I'd like you to know the Unity in Marin Choir. Well, let's change it up just a little bit as we come together now and plant our feet on the floor and feel the magnificent, wondrous space that we fill and the space and love and joy that we are. We'll take a little time now for meditation to bring us into the feeling of the wonder of this time of year. For it is, after all, special and wonderful and holy. From the book of Matthew, we hear, "All this took place to fulfill what the Lord said through the prophet. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us." God with us. Now, in the silence. As we come together now back into the room, we sing Alleluia.
The night was long, we traveled far. At times I looked but could not see the star, yet still it shone, unveiling then the way to Bethlehem. My heart held fear mid puzzled joy, for I was only a small shepherd boy, and on a hillside soft and green, I heard an angel sing. I saw the midnight sky aflame with radiant angels bathed in light, holy light, bringing word that Christ was born and beckoning to find the light and go and find him. A sweeter face I never will see, that of those loving eyes staring up at me. I found a king, I found a friend, that night in Bethlehem. But life goes on, years beyond one brief night of my youth. Time clouds my vision of truth. And though I stumble and fall, I can hear someone call. Do not despair. Your star is still there. That Christmas night so long ago has filled my life with light, because I know that love lives now as he did then, that night in Bethlehem, whose love never ends. Shine for me again, Star of Bethlehem.
I love Christmas time. It's a time where we celebrate the birth of Jesus, and it's also a time where we celebrate giving birth to the Christ again in our day. The Christ, that term, the Christ, is referring not just to Jesus, but it refers to that I am presence, that God presence that is living in each and every one of us. You are like that manger. Do you know what a manger is? How many people here have ever seen a manger? Okay, a number of you. You've probably seen pictures of Jesus laying in this rough wooden crib-looking thing, which is actually a feeding trough. It was a feeding trough because there wasn't room for him to be born in usual circumstances. He was born where the animals were. And there's probably cattle and sheep and goats, who knows what kind of animals were around. And so the feeding trough was where they put Jesus. And it's very common looking. It's very down to earth, just like all of us. But inside of each one of us is that Christ presence. And Jesus came here to teach us how to bring that out so we could bring that light to our world. I have 12 candles up here. They represent 12 powers. You've heard of the 12 days of Christmas? Well, this is the 12 powers of Christmas. The 12 powers that help us to bring forth the Christ light in our day. So it's faith, love, strength, also called perseverance. This is wisdom or judgment. This is power, or I refer to it as the power of mastery. This is imagination. This is, let me see, what color are you, my friend? Okay, this is understanding. This is will. This is order. This is zeal. This is elimination or release. And this is life. Now, all of these powers are powers that we use all the time. For example, in December, we celebrate the power of life, right? I mean, life is pretty important. Wouldn't you agree? When you got up this morning, weren't you grateful for life? I hope so. Life, the power of life, is like gasoline or electricity in a car. You can have all these wonderful instruments. You can have GPS, you can have a great engine, you can have wonderful tires. It can be a magnificent looking Tesla or BMW or Corvette or whatever you may have. But if it doesn't have gas and electricity or one or either of those, it can't go. That's like the power of life. Life is the power that makes all the other powers work. So we have the Advent candles over here, and we have been leading up to this candle. This is the Christ candle. Whoops, little wax. The Christ candle. Each one of us here is to light our own Christ candle. Not only will we light candles in a little bit, and I always loved that as a kid. I grew up in a church that had lots of feeling and emotion. People would shout during the services. They would dance in the aisles. They'd wave handkerchiefs. Sometimes they would hoop and holler. Yeah, it was a pretty wild place at times. But when we would come into the Christmas Eve service, it would be very quiet. And I purposely wanted the light subdued in here tonight. Because I remember walking into this place that often was very busy and wild, and there's like, there was a holy hush on everything. And as a small child who was a bit hyperactive and often in trouble, it was such a relaxing experience to hold my candle and to recognize that I had light. I had something to contribute to the world. As a kid, I was shaken and yelled at and screamed at, "What is wrong with you?" And in that quiet hush of a Christmas Eve service, looking at my lit candle, I realized I have the light too. I remember the first time I came to a unity service. I was sitting towards the back. I wanted to be incognito. I didn't want them to know I was a minister. And it wasn't long after that, I was still new there, that they had their Christmas Eve service. And they had a little card wrapped on each of our candles. And each one of them represented an apostle and a particular power, one of the 12 powers. I was new to the church. I was feeling quite broken in my life. I'd experienced a lot of trauma at that point. And they asked me to be one of those who would come up on the stage and light a particular candle that corresponded to the apostle and power I received. I was wondering if I belonged. I was wondering if I had a place in the world. I was wondering if I had gifts that I could share with the world. It felt like my light was going out. Have you ever experienced that? And so I thought, why'd they pick me? And which apostle am I going to play? And I unroll it and look at it. And it was Judas. And Judas, some would say, "Oh my, you're kidding. A newcomer and they gave you the Judas card?" wow, that was special. But again, it touched my heart in that Christmas Eve service because I thought, you guys even celebrate Judas? You guys love Judas too? If you love Judas, then I guess I'm welcome too. And when I came up to the candles and I lit the red candle of life, which the apostle, each of these is one of the 12 apostles, and Judas is this, and he used the power of life in a way that wasn't maybe always good, but when I lit that, I said, God, use my light. I know life is rough sometimes, and sometimes I don't know where I fit in. But what I have, I give. It really spoke to me. And I knew I was at the right place. A place that not only tolerated who I am, but celebrated it, because they saw that as giving birth to the Christ. Not only do we celebrate the birth of Jesus, my master, my guru, not only do we celebrate his birth from 2,000 years ago, but we celebrate the birth that we bring to the Christ in our day, that we bring forth the light. There's a symbolism at Christmas time of the light and the darkness, and my wife and I love to go out and look at Christmas lights when it's all dark, because the light is such a great contrast to the dark. When we light our candles, you will see what a contrast you are to whatever darkness you may be experiencing in your life. What a contrast you are to whatever darkness you may see in the world. I heard a minister say, instead of cursing the darkness, why not light a candle? You can see a candle from far, far away in the dark. Each one of you are those points of light. Each one of you are those points of bringing forth the Christ in our day, that I am presence, that God presence, that love that we need in the lines. Goodness, did anyone go shopping today? No one here? Okay. Don Davy, you went shopping. Okay. So a few of you did. I drove past the parking lots, and I just prayed for them. Bless them, God. They know not what they do. As you are in those lines, or as you are in those difficult times of tension, or darkness comes in your life, remember to light your light, to give birth to the Christ again in your life, no matter how broken, no matter how difficult life may look, no matter how young you are, no matter how old you are, no matter your ethnicity or sexual orientation or the rest, you have the light. Jesus in Matthew chapter 5 said, you are the light of the world. So light your light. Be the light. And even in dark times. Now, I'm wearing a little more subdued one. I have a much bigger one out in the car. Where are you, Gloria? Is she here? Gloria gave me this huge one that just goes way out here. I may do that on second service. I want you to light your light tonight. As we light our candles, remember the symbolism that you are the light of the world. That yes, we celebrate the birth of Jesus. And we celebrate the birth of your light. We celebrate you. We celebrate the Christ presence coming through as each and every one of you. Merry Christmas. Thank you. Offering. Okay. Ushers, we're going to receive the evening offering. So as our ushers come forward, and we don't want to miss the balcony either, ushers. I love you, balcony people. You're so smiling and you're waving. I am. As our ushers come forward and as we take our gifts, our offerings in our hands, please repeat after me. I bless this offering in the consciousness of abundance and joy. I am grateful. Merry Christmas.
Oh come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel that mourns in lonely exile here until the Son of God appear. Rejoice! To thee.
So, ushers, if you would come forward, we'll bless our offering. Thank you. Oh, thank you, choir. Let's give another hand to this choir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we bless this offering in the consciousness that it represents infinite substance, of which there is never any lack or limitation of any kind, knowing we are recirculating the divine good, showing up as us, being the light of the world, and we rejoice. And we say together, and so it is. Amen.
Merry Christmas. My name is Carolyn Gauthier. I have the pleasure of being the music director here. How about the choir? And all of our soloists. Yes. They sing the fourth Sunday of every month, and if you feel like singing, no auditions, just come join us on Tuesday nights. Not this night or next week, but later in January. I just want to tell you a couple of things that are going on coming up that you really might want to come and participate in. This is a very vibrant community with lots going on. The first I want to tell you about is next Sunday, we're going to be celebrating Kwanzaa. Reverend Medora Gordon is going to be giving the talk, and our choir director, Cindy Acker, is going to be doing the music, and the choir will be singing partly too. Okay, then what are you doing for New Year's Eve? I have a fun thing that you can do right here in this sanctuary. We take out the chairs and we form a big circle and drum in the new year. You can bring your own drum, or there are drums here. You can just move to the beat, and we drum out the old and drum in the new. And at 9 o'clock, we celebrate with New York on New York time. So we watch the ball drop. We have a champagne toast, some snacks, and then you can leave and go to another party or go home and go to sleep early, not be on the road. So that's New Year's Eve. It's a lot of fun. Kids are welcome, any age. It's just a great time. And Connect, who is running our sound today, is going to be leading the drumming along with Lisa Starber. One of the most popular services, second only to Christmas Eve, is our Burning Bowl service. And that's going to be the first, I hear a yes up there. That's going to be the first Sunday in January, which is the 5th. And you have a chance to put on a little piece of paper what you want to let go, and you drop it in its flash paper, and it goes away in the fire. And it's really a wonderful ritual. And we have two services at 9:30 and 11:15. So please do come back and join us. It's so wonderful to have you all here tonight. And now I'm going to explain the candle lighting. Okay? Ushers, if you can come forward. I should have two candles right here. One of them may or may not be lit. I need a volunteer. Reverend Tim.
Okay, let me get my, yes, I will.
The ushers will have a lit candle, okay? Don't do anything yet. We're going to first put on our coats. I'll tell you when. Just give me a second. When the lit candle comes to you, you take your candle and you go in sideways. So there's no dripping, no burning, and it lights very cleanly, and then you upright. Then you hold it like this for the next person, and they go in. That way you can pass the light down the line, okay? So if you'll put your jackets on now, because we're going to process outside. The choir will process, not yet. Right, but we just want you to have your coats on before you get the candles, because it's kind of hard to put your coats on while you have a lit candle in your hand. I don't recommend it, okay? And then there will be a few more remarks after all the candles are lit or while they're being lit. Okay, ushers, go for it.
led by the light of faith serenely beaming, with glowing hearts by his cradle we stand. So led by light of a star sweetly gleaming, here came the wise men from the Orient land. The King of Kings lay thus in lowly manger, in all our trials, born to be our friend. He knows our need to our weakness, no stranger. Behold your King before the lowly bend. Behold your King before him bend. Truly, he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise his holy name. Christ is the Lord. Then ever praise we his power and glory, evermore proclaim his power and glory, evermore proclaim.
Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, Jeannie. Yeah, we couldn't clap, right? Oh, what a beautiful sight. Did you all get cards when you came in? Okay. So those of you who received the card of faith, would you hold up your faith? Oh, beautiful. Those of you who received the card of love, would you, and just keep them up. Faith, yeah. And love, okay. And those of you who received the card of strength, if you would hold yours up. And those who received the card that says either wisdom or judgment, if you would hold yours up. And then those who received the card of power or mastery, if you would raise yours up. Those who received the card that says imagination, hold yours up. Those who received the card that says order, if you would raise yours up. Those who received the card that says understanding, would you hold yours up? Those who received the card that says will, would you hold yours up? Those who received the card of, which one are you, my friend? Did I leave out order? Did we get order? Order, would you raise your candles, please? Zeal, raise yours. There they are. Yeah, they have zeal. You guys, elimination or release, raise yours. And then one of my favorites, life. And choir, if you would raise yours. And I want you to look at this. Can we get a shot of that, Kevin? That is beautiful. See the light that you bring? It may be dark, but we have the light. Hold up your light when it's dark. Hold up your light and your power and realize you are always bringing forth the power of the Christ in, through, and as you. Well, that is cool. I didn't see that one coming. Thank you. Isn't that beautiful? And it is beautiful when we bring forth our Christ light. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. And now we're going to sing Silent Night, I believe, as we process out.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm. sleep.